Welcome back to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex and today we're taking a look at Sonic Colors Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. A remaster of the 2010 Wii entry. Is it still worth a look this many years later, and should you be adding it to your library? Well, first off, a shout out to Sega for the review copy today, and with that, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family and let's get started. So story and the idea here, Dr. Eggman has built a huge interstellar amusement park. Think every attraction you could ever wish for. Eggman though is saying this is no evil plan, rather his way of apologising for past wrongdoings, but of course that is a lie. With that though, Sonic and Tails are out to save the day and save an alien species called Wisps. Eggman has been taking them hostage to power the park and also a few other things that I won't go into for spoilers. Typical Sonic stuff though, light-hearted, it is actually quite self-aware at points, and yeah, it's good stuff with the park setting allowing for some serious creativity. So gameplay in Sonic Colors Ultimate is a unique one as characters go. Sonic in 3D has always been, hit and miss, but this one, it was always one of the better attempts. Now my personal favourite attempt, that was Sonic Adventures on the Dreamcast, but while that was a slower pace with a whole lot of exploration, this aims to do what Sonic does best, that is to just, well, go really fast. There's no overly complicated inputs, so rather for the most part it's going to fall back on like free gameplay styles. That's 3D free control, auto runner almost moments, and also 2D. You'll then be tackling levels or acts as is traditional with Sonic over different sectors, with the occasional boss moment thrown in. Intense is a word I would rarely use alongside a Sonic game, but it's that rare occasion, and that's where it succeeds the most. The sheer panic and just all-out action of the speed you are travelling at, it is captured near perfectly, and that's what makes this game just so fun. The controls then, for the most in the 3D viewpoint, are solid. It helps you out, it kind of like gives you minor assists, and that's perfect because you're able to then focus on what's ahead, and a lot of this game relies on quick reactions to upcoming danger. It just gets the adrenaline going, that is for sure. The majority of these levels then, they are 3D to begin with, but they also constantly shift to a 2D viewpoint. It works as a nice nod to where Sonic came from, but I will warn you here, the controls in 2D, they do feel a little floaty. If anything, it would have been best to have kept the styles separate, honestly, just to allow them to have their own dedicated control scheme. Controls wise though, think run, speed boost, jump, and attack enemies thanks to what is a lock-on system. You can also switch lanes then in the auto runner moments, and then the Wisps, that's for sure the most unique element of this entry. The Wisps, they give Sonic powers, they allow him to transform. A few early examples, you can become a bolt of electricity, there's a drill for underground moments, a rocket ship's going to fire you into the sky, or you can gain the ability to fly. I like this for a few reasons, but in game there's actually going to be 9 to uncover. One of them is a new addition alongside the Ultimate in the name, but it adds strategy to this entry. How can I use this Wisp to improve on my runs? What corners can I potentially cut? This is where Sonic Colors just excels. Replayability, the core game, if you played it straight through, 4 to 5 hours, but it gives you grades every run, an ABC kind of scale. Yeah, and it's also giving you a high score. I promise you, both of these systems, that's going to keep you coming back trying to improve. Then the Wisps, they are slowly introduced through the story, but once you've unlocked them, they can actually be retroactively used, meaning that first level you faced off against, it may now feel very different. It's a very cool addition that leads to some very cool gameplay moments, and it works surprisingly well, which I did not expect. Issues then outside of that floaty 2D control moments, the explanation of the Wisps, I found them a little lacking, honestly. It's text on screen, but with their design, for me, it was more of a learn by doing kind of moment. Then boss moments, kind of 50-50 there, half are good, the other half, I wouldn't say bad, but they definitely slow down the pace of the game just a little bit too much. They're placed at the end of each act, but I think for me, just move me on to the next level. I don't really need a moment like it. Outside of that though, gameplay wise, it's still as fresh now as it was in 2010, and alongside the new Wisp you can expect extra collectibles, some cosmetics, and you can also expect a new mode that is facing off against Metal Sonic. It's basically races, but it definitely feels right at home in this package. So graphically it's okay, it's showing its Wii age, that is for sure, and as remasters go it feels more like a simple resolution bump over anything else. That said though, fortunately this was never a bad looking game, and with the pace of the action it does a good job of never getting too confusing. It would have been easy here with the wrong design to lose sight of Sonic's placement in the world. The same can be especially said then for cutscenes, they've got a particularly soft focus. I think a big question for many then will be the game's frame rate, and I was hoping this would be 60, but what we actually get is a mostly solid 30 frames per second with the very occasional stutter when all hell breaks loose. The real visual win though, it's got to be Sonic's animations. They are incredible as he whips all over the screen, and then as I mentioned in story, the interstellar theme park setting means each zone is incredibly unique, but it never forgets to pay its respects to the series' most famous locations and stage designs. Audio finally, and another feature of this Ultimate release, they remixed some of the music, so they took what was already good and kind of messed with it, honestly. Some won't be impressed with that idea, but it is okay, honestly, trying to kind of modernize things for the game just a little bit. The issue the game has when you hear the remixed tracks than the original tracks, the original music is no question the clear winner. It's almost screaming, just look how good the original music was. Sadly then as well, you can't choose either or, so you can't have just new or just old music, which I think would have been the winning design decision. Outside of music then, minor sound effects for big moments, which makes sense, there's a lot playing out on screen so they don't want to overwhelm on the audio side of things. And then of course voice acting as well for the cutscenes, it's fine, I think it just reinforces the over the top plot points. So the final verdict, and it's good to have Sonic Colors back, it's one of the better 3D outings, and I'm excited to see now if this potentially leads to a new installment. Its success, this one, it just lies in its representation of the speed and action, while also giving you a ton of reasons to go back and compete with yourself, and as I said, I am a sucker for anything high score chasing. Problems? Sure, it's not the best remaster I've ever seen. If replaying the same levels over and over is not your thing, it's going to be a pretty quick 4 to 5 hour playthrough, and then some of the controls, they're not perfect, and I'm talking really the 2D moments there. Otherwise though, it's better than most recent Sonic outings, and it's good to see it back. A great 8 out of 10 from me today then, and fans, I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's adding in a few nice additional features, it's upscaling that resolution, and then it's tweaked that music, but it's also coming in then at less than a AAA price point, so I think yeah, it's a great little package that shows its respects for the original. Will you be adding this one to the library then, or are you holding onto that cash? Also, did you play it back in the day? Is it a game you want to revisit, or was once, enough for you? With that though, a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.